All right, let's talk about it. We're going to dive into 5 of the most common and, honestly, most critical security mistakes admins make when managing identity. These are those sneaky little gaps that can turn into massive problems. But here's the good news. They are all fixable. So let's jump in and figure out how to lock things down.
So first things first, let's frame this whole conversation. I want you to think of identity, every user account, every service principal, as the digital front door to your entire organization. It's not just one door either. It's the main entrance to every app, every bit of data, everything you've got.
I mean, think about it. You wouldn't dream of leaving your actual office building unlocked overnight, right? You've got locks, maybe an alarm system. So the real question for today is, how secure is your digital front door? Because what we're about to see is that a lot of organizations are leaving that door hanging wide open, and they don't even know it.
Here's our game plan. We're going to walk through these 5 big mistakes, starting with policies and privileges that have kind of gone sideways. Then we'll get into weak authentication and accounts that should have been deleted ages ago. We'll cap off the problems with the big one, passwords, and then we'll lay out a super clear plan to get it all fixed. Okay, first up, policies and privileges. Just think of this section as the rulebook for who gets to come through your digital front door, and, more importantly, which keys they get once they're inside.
And that brings us to mistake number 1, misconfigured conditional access policies. Now, these things are incredibly powerful. They're basically if-then rules. Like, if a user is an admin, then they have to use multi-factor authentication. Simple, right? But when you set them up poorly, they can leave huge, gaping holes in your security.
So here's where it often goes wrong. People use a sledgehammer approach, applying a policy to all users. That's a great way to accidentally lock everyone out, including your emergency break glass accounts. The ones you need when everything's on fire. A bad policy also leans on weak things like IP addresses. The right way is to be surgical. Target specific groups, always exclude those emergency accounts, and use much stronger signals, like whether a device is healthy or not. And please, test it in report-only mode first so you don't break the entire company.
Mistake number 2, giving admins permanent, always-on administrative roles. Doing this is like painting a giant, glowing bullseye on their backs. It just completely goes against the whole idea of least privilege. Because think about it, if that one account gets compromised, the bad guy doesn't just get a key to a room. They get the master key to the whole building, forever.
The fix for this is a beautiful concept called just-in-time access, which is usually handled with something called Privileged Identity Management, or PIM. So instead of having the master key all the time, an admin is just eligible to use it. When they need to do admin stuff, they request access, give a reason, and get those powers for a short, limited time. The second that timer runs out, poof, the access is gone. It's an absolute game changer for shrinking your attack surface.
Okay, let's keep moving. This next part is all about actually checking the ID of whoever is knocking at your digital front door and making sure you don't have a bunch of old, rusty keys just lying around for anybody to pick up. Which leads us right to mistake number 3, having a weak authentication strategy. Look, it's awesome that you're using multi-factor authentication. Seriously, that's a great step. But here's the tough part. Not all MFA is created equal. Some types are actually pretty easy to phish.
So let's break this down. You've got your phishable MFA on one side, things like SMS text codes or those simple approve-deny push notifications. An attacker can trick these. They can spam a user with notifications until they just get tired and hit approve. We call that user fatigue. On the other side, you've got phishing-resistant MFA. This is the good stuff like passkeys. These methods actually tie the credential to the physical device. You literally can't phish it because the secret never leaves the hardware.
And mistake number 4, I like to call this one the digital graveyard. It's what happens when you have poor identity lifecycle management. No real automated system for handling people when they join the company, move to a different role, or eventually leave.
The fix here is a clean, automated joiner-mover-leaver process. It's so logical. A new person joins, boom, their account gets created with exactly the access they need, nothing more. They move to a new department, boom, old access gone, new access in. And the second they leave the company for good, boom, everything is shut down, immediately. No loose ends.
And this is why it's so important. This is not a theoretical problem. This happens all the time. An account for a contractor who left months ago is still active. That's a ticking time bomb. It's a completely unmonitored, wide-open door just waiting for someone to wander through.
Okay, this brings us to the final problem area. And frankly, it's the one we've all been struggling with for decades. The password problem. It's been the weakest link in a security chain for as long as I can remember.
And that is mistake number 5. Just relying way too much on passwords. When you've got weak password policies and absolutely no plan to move away from them, your digital front door is basically being secured by one of those cheap, flimsy locks you can pick with a paperclip.
The issues here are probably obvious, but they get ignored so often. You see policies that let people use password 123. There's no real solid plan to adopt better passwordless options. And of course, passwords can be stolen, they can be guessed, they can be phished. It's just a recipe for disaster.
Okay, we have gone through the 5 biggest problems. Now, for the most important part, the solutions. Let's walk through your 5-step plan to fix this foundation and get that digital front door properly secured.
Here's your action plan. Number 1, build granular and well-tested conditional access policies. 2, implement just-in-time access using PIM. 3, mandate phishing-resistant MFA, think passkeys. 4, automate your joiner mover lever process. And 5, create a real actionable roadmap to go passwordless.
So let's just bring it all home. Here's the bottom line. Identity is the foundation of modern IT. It is the new security perimeter. And fixing these 5 mistakes isn't just a small improvement. It is a massive, fundamental upgrade to your entire security posture.
So I'll leave you with this question. As you think about your own organization, which one of these 5 mistakes is the most urgent one for you to fix right now? Which one is at the top of your list?
Hey, thanks so much for watching, and remember to keep making progress. Actually.